For those who follow along on my channel, seeing this welding position will be nothing new. I think I have about 4 or 5 videos in total now, including the last one where we're welding the Acme threaded handles and just talk about the uses of it and so forth. I don't think I need to remind you guys of the practicability of having one of these, but not everyone can justify spending the money to either buy or build something like this. So I'll just take you over and show you my poor man's version. So just taking you over to the actual parts. So we've got a couple of these plates which are 16mm laser cut, just mild steel, or 5/8 in the imperial language. As you can see, there's a couple of slots in there. For those not familiar, sort of a common thing you might find to use these for is pulling off steering wheels, bushes, bearings, things like that. Those are in the engineering or automotive game will be pretty familiar. But it's not regardless of the part, it could be anything really. As you can see, we've got one that's already welded and one that's yet to be welded. It has a boss in the center here. And we have a hole on the other side that'll actually mount on the actual poor man's welding positioner. So all we're doing to be able to weld these is obviously just turning the part around, spinning it like this, and welding it. So just bringing you over to the setup now. A fairly cheap, economical thing. Possibly not everything you could make yourself, but I'm sure you could get somebody to help you out with some parts of it. And it's probably not practical for every single part you could ever make, but it is a fairly limited type of use of thing as compared to the welding position I've just shown you, was a bit more universal for holding the parts. But this is more of a, I suppose you could say, a one-off, but this could make the difference between getting a job and not. I mean, when it comes to welding, what the customer wants to see is the job done and the job is done well. And getting a half-decent weld on there is what about selling yourself to a customer is all about. So all we do is just sit that part on there on that hole that I've got drilled in the back of the part. And as I said, it's probably not practical for every use. What you can do though is take a bush on there, which you could take off later. And all I'm doing is just turning the part slowly and just adding the filler wire to it. Obviously, doing that with the filler wire, taking it in and out of the gas is not the ultimate thing to do when you're welding with TIG. But we're not building rocket ships or at that level where you are. And as you get going, you'll be able to afford to be able to buy better gear, and as you get more and more work. But just to get yourself going, this is more than enough to do what you need to do. Just taking that back off again. Doing this one hand is not easy. So it's just a simple drill press, which are not that expensive to buy. Some copper soft jaws in there, which I just put in there. This is one's just for my welding. It doesn't have to be copper, any part of it. It's up to you to add things as you like, but just to get going. And I've got a copper stem in the center there, and I've just turned that to the size of it. Not everyone's going to have a lathe, but you can get a local machine shop to do something for you. Spend a couple of bucks just to be able to get yourself going. And as I say, it's the difference between having a job and not having a job, and just getting jobs done that are going to get you customers coming in. And that's what I thought I'd just show in this video. A fairly simple type of part, nothing too big deal. As I say, you just tack some stems onto the back, or a bush or something like that on the back, or you can bore a hole, or there might be a hole and you have a different size bushes that you could make up. In this case, this one's 12mm. You could have 1/2 inch, or whichever language you like to work in, imperial metric, and you can have a whole heap of different series of these where the part just sits on there. But just something like that would just be able to get you going, and that's what it's about when you're getting going with welding, buying the welding machine and so forth, and be able to make parts like this and produce that sort of weld. As I say, all I'm doing is just turning that. That's not done on the auto one where you're putting your foot on the pedal and it's turning. That's just done by turning it by hand. Just weld, move, weld, move. That's basically all I'm doing, is just moving it with my thumb like that. Obviously you need 2 hands, and you've got to take your hand away to be able to turn the part and then back with your filler wire. So it takes a little bit to get used to that, but you will work out a way to be able to get used to doing that. It's not perfect, but it's definitely better than forking out money to be able to build one or buy one yourself anyway. It can make the difference of getting a job and not getting a job. So hopefully this information was helpful for you guys. And anything you'd like to know about welding positioners, definitely go and check out those other videos. There's plenty of information there to help you guys either buy or build one yourself. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Okay, bye for now.